Department of Operation Defense often comes here to record game progress. And now even my movements have been exposed to complete outsiders. I suppose it's time to leave.
That I understand that.
You sound unpleasant to talk to.
A lot.
But since you have eyes keen enough to tell what I am at a glance,
This morning,
I'll
so
have a short chat
I
with
don't
you.
know. I
I'll
don't
answer
know
3
what happened,
questions. So ask away.
so
Once you have your
I
answers,
can't really say
I'm going to
like
show you
what's
the door.
going on. That's like
I wanted to question why the Joy Seeker would permit the ambrosial arbor of abundance to take root in a world they had blessed. But given their carefree nature, there was probably never any restriction to begin with. On my second question, are you a Feykind native to Ahatopia, or are
I
you
can only say
one
like
of the long-life species shaped by the ambrosial arbor?
too hot.
Aren't you good at divination? Can you help me take a look whether the slip on my head says wheel or woe?
There's nothing on your head except your ears.
And that itself is the answer. I am the arbitrator who determines the outcome of the Phantasmoon Games. I am the raging waves of joy and the living pulse of this world. Diviner of the Xianzhou, the weal and woe you behold are but a single petal fallen from my hand. It blooms with the morning and withers by evening, reducing to dust in a fleeting moment. My true form is the Panarch Elwood, the embodiment of instant and eternity.
Interesting. Took you quite some time to come up with those words, huh?
The one who created me did say most people wouldn't believe me. Turns out they were right.
I believe you. I feel the same way. For many do not trust the words of a diviner. Besides, no weal or woe has befallen you, which means your fate cannot be determined like that of ordinary mortals. You're not the first one I've met with this condition since my arrival here.
You're left with one question.
Since you admit to being an abomination of abundance, shouldn't you explain the fate of this world's residents? Unless they are your doing? If your answer fails to convince me, it may be too late by the time I summon the Lux Arrow from the sky with the rainbow.
Chill out. You shouldn't make jokes like this. I'm not as skilled at divination as you are. When you suddenly speak of the great wheel or woe and interrogate me, I get confused too. After all, isn't every rule and every variable of the Phantasmoon Games dictated by the impulse of some god? As for the brewing storm, let's settle down and discuss whether the turmoil once again is the results of the laughter's mischief.
This entire day has felt unreal. We had situations lined up one after another, and a growing crisis on our hands.
The Research Society is insane to meddle with the power of abundance. There's no telling how many have already undergone the happiness surgery. Foolish witnessed the tragedy caused by the Herald of Death 15 years ago. And now, she herself has assumed that dreadful mantle. We have to relay this information to Dan Heng, Sunday, and General Yao Guang as soon as possible. Full Wish is definitely aware of the enemies she's facing. That is why we must win an audience with Aha. At the very least, we need to stop Full Wish from winning the game.
Yeah. The thought of the research...
It's been a long day, and all of you...
the best way to recharge is to waste...
Sounds good. I was thinking of...
What was that? Did you hear This can't be!
All the smarties and dummies, children and adults, fools and entertainers.
Now that everyone
Has made...
their appearance
No need.
to keep further secrets
What you can.
as a spark
Must grow.
to wildfire,
As an extra one. Of these.
fantasy games,
Servicing all.
of our authority, more than a thin minute,
To become.
the true permanent
Born of elation. As such. It's time to... Revel in unabated joy. Only the heart can keep.
Wait, did you hear that?
I'm not hearing things, am I?
Hurry, make a wish. It might actually come.
Hang on. Is it... Oh, that winking moon up there in the sky. Hey, it wasn't just me.
I heard it. That's why I came straight back. The winner of these Phantasmoon games shall inherit all my authority. Which means... Precisely. Aha has raised the stakes.
Are you serious? This is so wild. It doesn't even feel real and—
Every time a path has vanished or been absorbed, the cosmic turmoil has lasted for dozens of— The transfer of an eon's divine authority. How could that ever amount to a mere wager, lightly traded in a single world's game? The most logical explanation is that Aha wants to steer this game toward utter insanity. But then, who can... Not every Phantasmoon game's ending has been recorded, but as far as recorded history goes...
Exactly. It's just too—
In the historical records, basically, unless what the Phantasmoon said is some cruel joke or a play on— They won't be a guest with a 1-minute pass to the Elation theme park. They will be its new owner. They may spread good fortune and steer the great wheel of the cosmos toward hope. Or...
You mean a pessimist sees a half-empty glass, but an optimist sees— I knew you were an optimist, just like me. Besides, there's no way the Eon of Elation... Right?
No way! It's Baseball, Raccoon, March Bunny, and Hime Cat in the flood!
I couldn't even get a ticket to Starrail Fest. And now, I'm seeing them right here.
Whoa. Where did all these people come from?
Hey, that declaration the Phantasmoon mentioned was about you, right? What are you gonna do? Got any kind of moon landing plans in the works?
You should just hit it with your bat! Send that thing spinning into a black hole at the edge of the cosmos! You smash anyone who stands in your way with that bat!
The way they say it makes you sound like a supervillain. Uh-oh. You don't think that fight with the Daybreak Squadron made everyone turn on us, do you?
Come on, isn't that basically your trademark? You beat the Daybreak Warriors senseless.
Oh! All these big shots from across the cosmos, fighting to the death right in our backyard. It's gonna be epic!
Epic? Are you brain dead? One wrong move from them and we're in serious trouble. Just like what happened with the Herald of Death years ago.
Sign this for me, future Eon!
Yo! When you become an Eon, can I be your Emanator?
We should get away from this mess. Let's head back to the Express and discuss matters there.
You're back. Himiko messaged me. She filled me in on the Starrail Fest and the Phantos Moon's declaration. Things really are changing fast. You're right. The fact that the Phantos Moon openly made a promise is anything but ordinary.
To prevent the divine authority from falling into the wrong hands, the supplicants may go to any lengths now with their tactics and actions. After all, in most people's minds, they alone are the ones best suited to wield power. Right or wrong has little to do with it. Such is the nature of human will.
Yeah, and that may be exactly what the Phantos Moon wishes to see. A spectacular, head-on battle of ambitions.
Madame Pearl has sent a communication request to the Astral Express. Accept transmission?
It hasn't been long since we parted, and here I am disturbing you once more. My sincerest apologies.
Please, there's no need to apologize. Given the urgency of this transmission, Madame Pearl, I assume you wish to discuss the Phantos Moon's recent declaration.
Nothing manipulates people's emotions quite like that moon in the sky. A permanent handover of divine authority. It is unprecedented.
I can't help but wonder whether some malicious presence lurks behind the Phantos Moon. Still, who else but the Elation themselves could wield such control over it?
In any case, the Phantos Moon's speech has made the public realize that the power to create a god is in their hands. Their emotions, and perhaps even their wish power, are swelling to historic levels. The Department of Aberration Defense even detected a surge of agitation and unrest among the Imaginary. When normal people believe power rests in their hands, their decisions tend to grow more radical and reckless. Please, be careful, and make sure to protect yourselves. Correct. It would be wise to keep a low profile and stay out of the public eye. The Media and Public Relations Department has been monitoring public sentiment. At present, speculation...
I've seen it online myself. Following the fight with the Daybreak Warriors, there's been no shortage of hostile commentary. A commentary program on TV has been claiming the Express. Many believe the Astral Express is oppressing the local heroes. And some are even...
What the? What's wrong with these people?
These narratives are undoubtedly being amplified by media. I've received a report from the Security Bureau. They tell me that many fans of the Daybreak Squadron have been stirred up and are threatening retaliation against the Express. I'll reinforce security in case agitators attempt to storm the station. I can, but you overestimate what control really means. In the arena of public opinion, those who look strong are often the ones at a disadvantage. And besides...
And besides, you'll be distancing yourself from us for a while. Isn't that right?
That is accurate. We intend to scale back our public association for the time being. If it's confirmed that the Express is colluding with the IPC, its public image would only deteriorate further.
Regrettably, I cannot agree to this. Clarifying the facts amid a frenzy of public sentiment is like trying to quell boiling water by stirring it. It only fuels the flames. The happiness surgery causes recipients to undergo an abundance transformation. Disclosing such sensational information would probably be taken as a hoax, or trigger public panic. I will instruct the Department of Aberration Defense to verify the true mechanism behind the happiness surgery as soon as possible, and assess its potential impact. I strongly advise you to exercise restraint in front of the media. Even the smallest statement can be selectively edited and misrepresented. That much is certain. Still, given the current volatility of public sentiment, please exercise caution and self-control. I sincerely hope that the Phantom Moon's declaration will not disrupt the goodwill between us. A greater danger still stands before us. After listening to the declaration, who knows what extremes Fullwish might be driven to. Affairs demand my attention, so I must excuse myself. Should there be further developments, I will keep you apprised.
What do you make of the current situation?
We need to take action and put a stop to Fullwish before things get even worse. We cannot allow her to deceive and poison innocent people in the name of happiness.
Agreed. Given the likelihood of Fullwish acting unpredictable. That reminds me, I've been wondering. The happiness surgery taps into the power of abundance, yet Fullwish seems perfectly normal.
Perhaps it's the lingering poison left behind by the previous Herald of Death. 15 years ago, the monster who turned living flesh into his artwork would, in the heat of combat, slip into bouts of frenzied elation and delirium. The murderous mark he left behind, the bloody bloom, was no mere delusion. According to his interrogation transcripts, he claimed to witness a brilliant golden tree promising him everlasting life. He claimed that in his hallucinations, the golden tree's branches coiled around him, drowning him in frenzy and pleasure. He wanted its blossoms to bloom before all, and to bring about that miracle, he was willing to slaughter without restraint. In hindsight, it's clear that the Herald of Death was a supplicant who bore the power of abundance. The tragedy he orchestrated in plain Arcadia ultimately forged another version of himself. Fullwish. Right now, in plain Arcadia, how many have undergone the happiness surgery? Fullwish. What has happened to you over the years? I need more information about this junior of mine. If we're to investigate Fullwish, we need to examine the traces left behind from the Herald of Death incident that took place during the... If you're set, let's get moving.
Well, after that... Wait a minute. This nostalgia isn't an after effect of the Sparksy virus.
Don't worry, Marge. The Department of Aberration Defense conducted a comprehensive disinfection of the campus.
That's a relief. The last thing I need is to be mid-investigation and suddenly morph into some hopping, dancing mushroom rabbit. of which, where should we begin our investigation?
I think it's best we see my father. It's only appropriate that we obtain permission from the Dean before proceeding with the investigation. 15 years have passed, but there should be a backup of the student files, work logs, or visitor records, and only he knows where they're stored. Let's go then, to the Dean's office.
Himeko! There you are at last. The news said you got into a huge fight with those, what are they called? Warriors at the Floating Isle exhibition. And then you disappeared. Let me see. You're not hurt anywhere, are you? I sent you a dozen messages, and you didn't reply to a single one. Do you have any idea how worried I was? But seeing that you've come to tell me you're safe in person, I'll let this slide. If you're really so preoccupied, a message or a call would do, you know. Ah, it's you two. I saw you in the news as well. Valiantly fought, huh? These Megatron warriors don't know who they're messing with. To think they dare challenge my daughter's subordinates.
Well, now it feels like we're the underlings of Warlord Himeko or something.
In any case, I'll leave Himeko in your hands. Please try to keep her out of combat.
Stop. Every time you and she get together, the conversation somehow drifts completely off course. I'm fine. I'm good. Your daughter's no porcelain doll. We came here to...
I know. I understand. You didn't come, but tell me. Has there been progress on the new Herald of Death case? I wasn't expecting the question to come in rounds.
In rounds?
The Department of Aberration Defense also sent someone here before you. They inquired about Foolish. But regrettably, I truly don't know how to answer. On one hand, I wasn't here 15 years ago. On the other, I'm aware that you're involved in the investigation too. So, I compiled the pertinent documents ahead of time. I hope they'll be of use to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ryusuke.
Go ahead. The files are inside the archive room. Take whatever materials you need. To be honest, it wasn't until the Herald of Death incident 15 years ago that I first learned her name. As the Dean, I should have met up with her more often and tried harder to soothe the wounds it left on her. I just couldn't. Do you really need all the details? The whole serving as a model example thing. I don't want to tarnish it completely. I knew it was a selfish thought, but I just couldn't help it. Back then, whenever I heard her name, I thought to myself, if someone was able to survive the incident, then why couldn't it have been my daughter? 15 years ago, I received a commission to paint a massive portrait for an elixir seeker chief on the planet of Goliath's Shepherd. He said he had an elixir that could cure countless diseases. By the time I came back, everything had changed. There had been a terrible accident on campus, and my daughter... Even though I knew my presence here wouldn't have changed anything. Because of that incident, I made a promise to never leave this world again during the Phantom Moon Games. That's why I immediately flew here when I heard about the full Phantom Moon. But, once again, I was too late. And the supplicant called Sparksy had turned the campus upside down.
It's all right. You can leave the crisis solving to the Nameless.
You're right about that. Yet oddly, once Sparksy stirred up all that chaos, applications to the school soared to an all-time high. Times we live in are increasingly beyond my comprehension. You're always welcome. Other than the archive room, you could also try talking to Miss Dolly. She's the longest-serving faculty member here and likely knows the most.
Then we'll try the archive room. Let's go, you two. Thank you, Dad.
We should be able able to find the archive room and Miss Dolly around in the Genesis classroom, right?
Oh my goodness, I thought I read.
Miss Dolly, please forgive me for not coming to see you sooner.
Don't worry about it. I'm simply happy that you cared enough to I must apologize.
Please, I can't thank you enough for safeguarding the mask all those years.
Look at you. You haven't changed a bit. To you and your friends look like you're in a hurry. Foolish. The school organized poor girl. Though she was lucky to have survived, she had good grades and a good heart.
Speaking of which, do you know anything?
I heard she went somewhere beyond the...
Somewhere beyond the sky? Miss Dolly, do you know where she went to...
I never heard.
Thank you, Miss Dolly, for your intel.
The fitness club's looking for new members. Anyone interested?
The atmosphere...
It was like this 15 years ago as well. The archives tracked all... There's a lot of data stored here. Aside, if possible, keep an eye on dabbling in technology related...
Is this? Ugh, did they really have to put this? Garden Star of Botanical Study. Miss Dolly mentioned that Full Wish...
Well, did you find anything? Garden Star of Botanical Study? It appears to be a greenhouse world located within the Consternation Star Zone. Oh, found it. Its property ownership is registered under a specific school within the Intelligentsia Guild. Strange. The name of the school... I've heard conspiracy theories claiming the Herald, given the great lengths the IPC went to in wiping away all traces after the incident. Perhaps the rumors are true.
Full Wish was hurt by the Herald of Death. Yet after studying in an institution funded by the IPC, she became a suspect in the new Herald of Death incident. I know the guys from the Strategic Investment Department have been nice to us, but whenever something bad goes down in the cosmos, the first thing everyone thinks is the IPC did it, right? Himeko, do you think Pearl might be planning something nasty for this Phantom Moon Games too?
As a member of the IPC, Pearl clearly won't reveal. However, I'm inclined to believe she bears us no ill will. After all, the crisis Full Wish might be plotting would I'm more inclined to think that after witnessing the power, if the power of the abundance used... Perhaps I should contact her as a fellow alumna.
Contact Full Wish as her...
I don't know. Back then, I had taken a leave of absence from university due to health issues, so I was doing some idle work at my father's school to clear my mind. Full Wish would occasionally run to the library to slack off. She and Belle always appeared together, helping me organize newspaper clippings. They didn't treat me like a patient who needed special care. No. We often shared snacks brought from home and secretly dug out the school's collection of ancient books and paintings to admire them. Foolish. She was the model student. I could feel the passion in her eyes. If she still remembers our old friendship, I want to ask her myself. Why has the happiness she pursues become an illusion that can only be maintained by a taboo surgery?
Me too.
Thank you, you two. And thank you for your investigation. Though many questions remain unanswered, at least I now have a clearer picture of her movements after graduation. By the way, before we leave the school, there's one more place I'd like to visit. Before I meet Full Wish, I want to say goodbye to that memory from 15 years ago.
You mean that old school building from 15 years ago?
sorry. I just couldn't finish tidying up the ribbons, and now I've dragged you into staying this...
Don't worry about it, Belle. It was my turn on duty to...
Himeko?
Yes. In this imaginated classroom, the after images of the students from 15 years ago.
Tomorrow is the school anniversary. I wonder how lively it will be. They've invited parents here. Oh, Full Wish?
Oh, that's Full Wish from...
Yeah, Dad already took time off. By now he's probably out on the streets with Mom, picking out formal wear. If it's my daughter's performance, we have to dress to the nines. That's just like him. He always loves making those kinds of jokes.
Then you'd better put on a good show, huh?
There won't be a show anymore, Belle. Because unexpected guests have arrived. Everyone from the Astral Express and Himeko. I didn't expect to meet you here. Did you enjoy yourselves at Starrail Fest? Did you grant those smiling kids their wishes and bring joy to everyone?
Full Wish.
Himeko, you recognized me at just a glance. I thought Himeko was at school like the rest of us that day. When I saw Belle lying in a pool of blood, when I was crushed under the collapsed wall and unable to breathe, the thought crossed my mind. Poor Himeko. If you had met the Herald of Death with that delicate frame of yours. But who would have guessed? You're alive and living quite well. You became the navigator of the Astral Express, roaming freely beyond the sky, just like the three of us used to talk about in our chats. Your dream came true. Congratulations are in order. Himeko, do you know 15 years have passed? And my wounds have mostly healed. Regrettably, there are some scars and emptiness that time can never heal. Look around. Even here, even with these phantoms, their seats are still empty. Belle, Leon, Ziania, Mia, and so many others. 15 years have passed, and I've learned that time isn't a cure. It's a shroud, binding itself around me, layer upon layer. So I made a decision. I'm going to tear it open. I'm going to let everything bloody and unforgettable beneath it see the light of day again.
See the light of day? You were a victim of the Herald of Death, only to become the second Herald of Death yourself? You intend to use a power you can't possibly comprehend to win the Phantasmoon Games. How are you any different from that monster back then? From the monster that took your parents' lives? I'm sorry. I shouldn't compare you to that devil. You still have a chance. Stop this now.
Stop? I'm sorry. I don't quite understand what you're saying.
advise everyone to think twice before making rash accusations. As a media professional, let me give you a piece of advice. From now on, when you're in front of a camera lens, watch your expressions and be cautious with your words and actions. At the very least, try not to look so flustered during this public exchange. We live in a world where we are constantly gazed upon and watched by others. This camera crew was originally prepared for my upcoming speech, but meeting you all here, it really adds a wonderful dramatic flair. To the audience watching from your screens, you know my name, and I know that right now, you are watching me. 15 years ago, with the tacit approval of the IPC and the Arcadia Council, the Master of Elation's divine ritual degenerated into a barbaric, bloody game. You and I, the residents of this Arcadia, surrendered a lifetime of dignity, wealth, and time to them, all in exchange for a single full meal. We are surrounded by bizarre entertainment and stimulating gore. We soak all day in shallow, boring programs, achieving nothing. And now, we must live in fear of the unscrupulous atrocities of these supplicants from beyond the sky, forcing smiles as we applaud and cheer for them. Is this the happiness the god promised us? No! Absolutely not! The Master of Elation would never be deceived by miracles, but with pain and blood. What they desire to see are heartfelt smiles. And so, it granted me a revelation. Everyone, on that evening 15 years ago, what saved me was not luck. It was not the supplicants, and it was certainly not the IPC. Right here, as the Herald of Death approached, step by step, the one who sent down a miracle was the Master of Elation. They allowed me to escape with my life. And when I was trapped in a small room, consumed by loneliness, they sent me a mask. They revealed my mission to me, to bring happiness back to a plain Arcadia that has lost its smile. I, Fullwish, survivor of the Bloodstained Games, hereby formally announce that I will join the Phantom Moon Games! In this game, I shall win the Eon of Elation's authority. And then, I will make smiles of happiness bloom on the faces of every single person in plain Arcadia! Himiko, don't frown. Smile. I will bring happiness to you too, just as I will bring it to everyone. I won't manipulate the Phantom Moon Games like those high and mighty IPC executives. Nor will I treat the rewards granted by the God of Elation as bargaining chips for profit. We are in plain Arcadia, so we should decide the winner in a plain Arcadian way. I'll give you a stage if that's what you want. I invite you all to a televised debate at Fullwish TV in Seafeld City. The invitation extends to all supplicants.
A plain Arcadian way? That's just a way that benefits you. We're not going.
You
You can refuse, of course, but then, under the gaze of billions of viewers, you must accept your public image as frauds deceiving the world and cowards with guilty consciences. Remember, this isn't just an invitation. It is your only chance to defeat me in front of everyone. Since you believe you represent what is right. The stage is set. Come and perform this final act that will determine the future of the Arcadia with me. Or simply leave. The choice is yours.
Darn it! Are we just going to let Fullwish walk away?
We are right in the middle of the cameras she prepared. Remember to be cautious with your words and actions. Let's leave here and return to the Express.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Arcadian Morning Report. We're continuing our exclusive coverage. Just moments ago, we received some shocking news. The head of our station, Lady Fullwish, has officially announced that she will be entering the Phantom Moon Games as a supplicant.
At the same time, Lady Fullwish has announced a blockbuster special! The end of a century TV debate! She is inviting supplicants to the Fullwish TV studio to discuss and debate the topic, what kind of future will the Phantom Moon Games bring to this world?
What a magnificent topic! At a time when supplicants from beyond the sky are brazenly suppressing and insulting our local heroes, finally, a supplicant has appeared who truly cares about and represents the citizens of Plain Arcadia.
Too true! Ever since these Phantom Moon Games began, signs of things spiraling out of control have been popping up everywhere. First, the famous streamer Sparksy tried to spread a mimetic virus. Then the nameless of the Astral Express clashed with the Daybreak Squadron, causing severe damage to Lookout Cloud and the Skyline Express line.
With so many accidents happening, you really can't help but wonder, are we seeing a repeat of the blood-stained games from 15 years ago?
You got that right! Speaking of the blood-stained games 15 years ago, Miss Fullwish herself was a survivor of that tragedy. She's come such a long way, never once letting her painful past keep her down. A true legend of resilience. Now Miss Fullwish has joined the fray as a supplicant. She must be here to stop the tragedy from repeating itself and to reclaim the peaceful days this world deserves from the hands of supplicants from beyond the sky.
Will she be able to shoulder the wishes of all Plain Arcadia and set this game right again after it's spiraled out of control? Let's wait and see.
Ugh, so shameless. Reporting news about your own station director on your own TV station, and you still have the gall to pretend you've received some shocking news? Don't you guys talk to each other internally?
I see. Fullwish actively issued a challenge. I ran a search. Seafeld City is a port town neighboring Duo-Mention City. Fullwish TV's predecessor, Seafeld TV, is located there. Looking at it this way, the televised debate is obviously nothing more than a diversion. What Fullwish wants most is for us to walk right into the trap she's prepared. So, what do you think?
You're really going to the TV station to fight her?
I'll go, but not to debate. I'm going to tear off her mask of happiness in front of the entire audience. But before we act, I need more help.
Help? We can all help you. Wait, do you mean...
Sparksy.
Ever since Sunday was dragged. However, I haven't heard of him making any public appearances either.
But what's the deal with...
Whether Sparksy counts as our ally is a... Full Wish said that when loneliness trapped her in that small room, her claim might just be... But that phrasing reveals that if every fool has stepped into the tavern...
How we tracked down the clues about SparksyCon.
Sparksy. Well, she's... Well, this is certainly a condition.
You just said. As for the brewing storm, whether the turmoil once again is the result of the Laughter's mischief. You mean to say the Joy Seeker wants to destroy the very rules they laid down? The game they wove with their own hand?
Come over here. This fox mask is a ritual instrument I once used in dance and music. It accompanied me across vast distances in search of an elixir of immortality, a mark of who I was in life. I've lost count of how long it has been since I last wore it since being enlightened and transplanted here. But here it is, presented upon the altar again, which means...
As the game's referee, you've been pushed onto the field. In this moment, you are now a supplicant.
For over a century, I presided over a war game in which supplicants carved out their own territories and vied for supremacy, using the power of the masks. I've also hosted survival games where emanators took the stage to compete, invoking eonic powers to try and slaughter every last opponent in a single day. Whenever the Phantasmoon games are at risk of being suspended or disrupted, I will use the authority granted by the elation and the abundance to measure, judge, and punish any violators. I guess you could call me the security protocol for the Phantasmoon games. But now, someone has gone and designated me as a supplicant. It's utterly unheard of. Who else but the Laughter could pull off something like this?
Perhaps. Some entity harboring a deep-seated hatred for the Laughter.
Who could it be? Entities like that. I couldn't count them all even if I used my toes. I learned that jerk ages ago. Take a joke too far, and you're bound to make enemies. See? Instant karma.
Never mind who he is, or what he's after. We're here, now. So what do you plan on doing? Fortune rests upon misfortune, and misfortune gives rise to fortune. Becoming a supplicant isn't necessarily a bad thing. Wouldn't that allow you to step openly into this chaos and drag the puppet master into the light?
You're looking to team up with me? Team up with someone from the abominations of abundance that you Xianzhou people despise?
That's hardly appropriate. You're an ancient sacred tree. It's the furthest thing from an abomination of abundance, no?
Oh, your standards are certainly flexible. The hunt and the abundance. We really make quite the interesting pair. So, where do you plan on starting?
How about we start by freeing my friend in the tree?
I nearly forgot about that. Chip away, little bird. I'll allow it.
General Yao Guang and Miss Fox, I've received some news that might interest you.
happiness surgery that wipes away suffering. The power of abundance in this world is disgustingly excessive. It seems the most terrifying omen I foresaw may not originate from the Stellaron hunters, nor from plain Arcadia itself. This supplicant, called Full Wish, is also a dangerous variable.
If you can, I would ask that you direct your focus toward Seafeld City.
You want to take a trip to Seafeld City? It seems I'll have to use some special measures to shorten the journey.
Oh, this is the part I've been looking forward to the most. I've always been curious where exactly this secret court is located, and what it connects to.
Xianzhou lady, let me show you this world's most impressive method of travel. Here we are!
Alrighty. Wait. Why are we at this station?